The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 7. Lord Yahweh Shai speaking, who the world ignorantly called Jesus. His true name is Yahweh Shai in the Paleo Hebrew. And he says right here, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. I'm going to stop right there. I want to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. And shalom to the 144,000. It's the brother Amawan Pada for the GMS Denver camp, coming at you with another lesson. All right. Shabbat shalom, by the way. And it's going to be in regards to the evil time that we're in. We're in the beginning of sorrows, and don't you forget it. All right. This is a warning to you Israelites out there, man. Don't forget what time we're in according to prophecy. All right. Things are about to ramp up for the worse here in America, Babylon the Great. All right. You see what I'm saying? We're entering into the time known as Jacob's trouble. All right. And you must be spiritually aware of this, man. While the rest of the world's they're going to get caught off guard and not know what to do. We know what we're in, and we know how to prepare spiritually for it, man. And it's by seeking Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right. That's the only way. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and play a video clip for you. Recent news, man. The Lord said that he was send pestilences. That would be one of the signs of his return, right? In verse 7, it shows you that, man. Disease, man. Plagues are coming upon America, Babylon the Great. Let's go ahead and play this clip. All right, fair use, fair use. All right, I'm not making any money off of this video. My channel is not monetized. This is for educational purposes only. All right, and as you can see, this is from the channel Jason A. And just check it out, man. It says major alert, national emergency in America. This came out yesterday. All right, check it.
There's a international measles outbreak right now. We are doing probably better than certainly better than any of the other industrial countries in the world in controlling it. The outbreaks are actually declining.
Measles cases in the U.S. are at their highest level since the disease was declared eliminated. That was back in 2000.
Alarming new data shows that measles cases in the United States have reached a 33-year high. That is according to new data out of Johns Hopkins University, hitting more than 1,200 confirmed cases across 38 states and Washington, D.C. The largest outbreak remains the one we've covered here, the one in West Texas. Officials there have recorded more than 750 cases of measles and believe the true toll is much higher than that. At least 155 people have been hospitalized across the country, and 3 people have died, including 2 otherwise healthy children in Texas and a man in New Mexico, all of whom were unvaccinated. To understand just how devastating this year has been, only 3 measles deaths were reported between the year 2001 and 2024.
Canada now has tripled the number of measles cases compared to the United States, despite having 300 million fewer people.
Alberta now has more confirmed cases of measles this year than the entire United States, after 30 more people were diagnosed with the virus over the weekend. The province is reporting more than 1,300 infections since the outbreak began in March. Now, by comparison, the U.S. CDC is reporting more than 1,200 cases of the highly contagious disease this year.
There's no doubt that this is an epidemic.
We have CDC teams everywhere where governors have requested it. And we are also taking care of those populations that don't want to vaccinate. Most of the cases are unvaccinated Americans.
Now you see the point right there that they're trying to push. All right. This is not medical advice. This is not medical advice. Disclaimer, disclaimer. All right. So they've mentioned twice already in this clip that those who were affected by this pestilence, they were unjabbed up. Okay, so notice that, that point right there that they're making. You see, put two and two together. And that's all I'm gonna say on that, man. They want you to perceive those inoculations. I just say it that way. And we're told to never trust our enemy. All right, according to the scriptures, man. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. But let's go ahead and play the rest of this.
There are some populations that do not want to vaccinate. We're making sure that there are protocols for treating people who actually get measles. But we don't at this point consider it a national emergency. Most of the cases are unvaccinated Americans. There are some populations that do not want to vaccinate. We're making sure that there are protocols for treating people who actually get measles. So, if in the individual states, if there are issues, we are there for them. But we don't at this point consider it a national emergency.
Do you see this?
Here we go again, right? And y'all thought it was over. We told you that these devils would run that same play again, and this time it could be even more serious. All right? Because the first time, it was a test run. And a lot of y'all fell into the trap. And now you're worried. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You listen to the devil and now you're worried for your life now. All right? Yeah, I gotta be careful of what I say, man, because these devils are very they're known for taking these videos down when we speak on certain things such as this. All right, showing you that a hit dog will holler. All right, let's go ahead and play this.
Measles outbreak as an emergency?
Well, it's the biggest measles outbreak we've had in this country in 33 years. We've had 2 healthy young children.
All right, now notice the number 33. We understand, that is a Masonic number they use in Freemasonry. And we know that this, society, is controlled by these secret societies of Esau, the Freemasons being one of them. And one of their code numbers is the number 33. They'll use that, in casual speech to signal to others that are in the know that this is part of a plan. I'll just say it that way. All right? We cannot be ignorant of Satan's devices, as it tells us in 2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. Salakia. He got something under his sleeve, man.
Children, 8 and 6-year-old little girls in West Texas who died from measles. That's the first death of a child in this country since 2003. And that child in 2003 was immune compromised. Yes, I consider it an emergency. And I think what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. should do as head of Health and Human Services is use his platform, stand up and loudly and clearly say, we need to vaccinate our children. I think that the statement that...
You hear it. You heard it. All right. You heard what he said. They're making a push to do exactly that, man. And we're just giving you the heads up. They finna come with some other shit, man. Okay, as we told you they would. Give me 1 second. Hold on. All right, I had to turn my notifications off. So, yeah, you hear it, man. Get your mind right.
You just played was pretty weak. I think he needs to get up there and take his position and make it clear that these are preventable deaths and it's unconscionable that children in this country are dying of measles when it is a preventable disease.
How would you describe, Doctor, what he and what HHS have been doing when it comes to vaccines?
Well, this outbreak is a perfect example. I mean, if you look on the CDC's website, it says that there's been roughly 1,300 cases of measles. That is a vast underestimate of the actual number. If you talk to people on the ground, they think it's at least 3,000 cases. And worse, for example, there was immunization clinics in Dallas. There were about 21 immunization clinics that were set to go, but yet they had their funding cut back, so they couldn't vaccinate children in high-risk areas. We're not doing what we need to do in this country, in large part because of cutbacks in surveillance for measles from the CDC and also in local health departments. It's hard to watch.
Let's talk about some of your latest health headlines. We're looking at a new COVID variant. People say feels like a...
All right, you hear that? So there's another one that they're talking about again, okay? And you saw the chaos that the first round did, locked the whole world down, man, pretty much off of this pestilence, okay? Let's run that back. Check it.
Vaccinate children in high-risk areas. We're not doing what we need to do in this country, in large part because of cutbacks in surveillance for measles from the CDC and also in local health departments. It's hard to watch.
Let's talk about some of your latest health headlines. We're looking at a new COVID variant. People say feels like a razor blade pain in your throat. Doesn't sound pleasant. We've also got the latest on the measles cases.
Yeah, never good. Athena Kehoe joins us now in the studio with what you need to know. Athena, it sounds like staying healthy right now is critical.
And this new COVID variant is called Nimbus, and many people know it as the disease that makes your throat feel like you're swallowing razor blades, which is not a very comforting thought. I spoke to Lindsay Kohler, who is an epidemiology division manager with the University of Arizona, to find out how concerning this is. She says this variant has been found in Region 9, which includes Arizona, but so far it hasn't been detected in Pima County.
It's very similar to what we've been seeing. We don't have any reason to think that it's more severe than the previous variants, and so the course of healing would be similar to what we've seen in the past, maybe up to a week or so of not feeling great. So if you have that cough, congestion, fever, stay home if you're not feeling well.
Vaccines remain the most effective tool to both avoid measles and to keep the infection from spreading. And yet, over the past few years, the vaccination rates for MMR, the vaccine that protects against measles, has declined.
It's a very contagious disease, and the virus spreads very easily.
For decades, the United States has had a handle on measles. The disease declared eliminated in 2000 due to a highly effective vaccination program, according to the CDC. But so far this year, the CDC has documented 1,288 confirmed measles cases, the highest number since 1992.
I think it's a consequence of lower vaccination rates, and unfortunately,
there it is. It's like, there it is again, man. The same narrative. Those who didn't bow the knee the first time, they're saying that, well, those are the ones who are getting this new dis-ease now. You see? Come on, man. And we know that the news is scripted, by the way. We know that, all right? But let's continue on.
with measles, it doesn't even have to be that low to get cases to circulate.
According to CDC data, the rate of kindergartners receiving state-required vaccinations dropped from 95% during the 2019-2020 school year to less than 93% 4 years later. Roughly 280,000 kindergartners are not fully vaccinated with the 2-dose measles vaccine.
The real kind of notorious thing about measles is that by the time you've had that rash, which is characteristic and kind of tips you off to having measles, you've been infectious for like 4 or 5 days already.
We heard that Alberta has the highest number of measles cases per capita in North America. I mean, how do you react to that? Why is this province the hardest hit right now?
Well, I mean, this is just an appalling situation. This is not something that I expected to see in my lifetime as an infection doctor, because measles has had eradication status in Canada for many years. And the scale of this outbreak is really massive. Alberta, like many places, is not a single population. There's many populations within a population. And I think that what we're seeing is very under-vaccinated populations are having very high rates of disease. And it's basically network spread. And so it's very hard to contain that. And that's what happened in Ontario as well, I think.
When you're talking about that, of course, in part is the fact that it is such a contagious disease. And so that can also lead to several complications too. So how concerning is that spike and the spread?
Well, we haven't really seen it leveling off. We're seeing continued spread. We're seeing more involvement in the larger cities, Edmonton, Calgary, which have very high vaccination rates. And we know, as you said, that if measles is around and you're vulnerable, there's a 90% attack rate. And so any given exposure can result in many secondary infections. most people think of measles as a rash illness, but really it's a whole body illness that can have serious consequences for a small number of people, especially kids under 5. And when you multiply a small, incidence of severe outcomes across a very large group of vulnerable people, you do start to see high hospitalization rates and really bad and lifelong effects of measles in babies and young children especially. And in our adults, we're actually seeing quite a high hospitalization rate as well. It's a severe illness on its own.
A U.S. doctor we spoke with says while it's not religious groups in America, the higher rates of unvaccination can also be traced back to the pandemic.
Over the last 3 years, we've had the most religious exemptions filed, for example, to
See that? You see that? They're bringing out religion. So, they're going to, in my mind, I believe they're going to try to demonize those who don't receive their juice in this go round even harsher. All right. And they're going to try to, really clamp down on those people who make religious exemptions. Okay. That's not going to work this time. All right. So the test is being brought forth, man. We're going to see how they roll this out, but it is prophesied that, different diseases would grip the earth, man, according to prophecy. Now, whether it's brought on by Esau or it's just an organic disease, it doesn't matter. The prophecy states that there would be plagues and pestilences, man. All right. So you got to know that, man. And it's better for you to cleave unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, than to trust your enemy. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. We'll get some precepts, before we close this out.
public schools by parents to exempt their children from vaccines, but these are not specific religious communities. It seems like there's just a general desire not to vaccinate children.
So there you go, man. You see the talking points being made, all right? And they're focusing on the children. Understand that. And let's get a few precepts. So here is a precept that I want to bring out, all right, from the book of Ecclesiasticus, all right, otherwise known as Sirach in the Apocrypha, right? Chapter 30 and verse 25. It says, a cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. That's right. We're supposed to take care of our diets, man. And a lot of dis-ease come from not taking care of yourself, man. This is why we tell you Israelites to lay off the junk food, man, the processed foods. And the elder apostles always go into this all the time, man. You know, they have different videos showing you different remedies that are natural, man, to keep your your body in position to fight against different dis-ease. I gotta say it that way, for the algorithm and whatnot. But yeah, you understand what I'm saying, man. You have to be wise in these last days. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want to do, man. A lot of you people that are out there, a lot of you Israelites that continue to eat unlawful foods such as pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, that has a negative effect. That has a negative effect on your body, man. All right? And it makes you vulnerable for the different things that are coming down the pipe, man. This is why it pays off to adhere to the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right? You see what I'm saying? You got to cut, that smoking out if you're doing that. All right? You got to do whatever it takes to make it, man. All right? You got to take care of your diet. You got to exercise, all those things, man. It says bodily exercise profiteth little. All right? You got to use these vessels known as our bodies to push the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And we got to take care of them, man. Speaking to myself first and foremost. All right? So that you ain't got to run to Esau and take his Satan serum, because he's not here to help you, man. I'm gonna just say it straight out. Esau ain't here to help you, man. Okay, so you got to be proactive. You got to get into the herbs and consume things that are good for you to strengthen your body. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 38 and verse 4. Now it says, the Lord Yahweh Bahashim, 'Bahashim, 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 And he that is wise will not abhor them. Meaning the Lord has things that are good for you that come out of the ground, man. Hence, vegetables, herbs, fruits. All right. Preferably those with seeds. Okay, because that seedless shit, man, that's not natural, man. The Lord created, fruits that bear seeds for us, man, to eat. And they have benefits to them, man. There's many videos on YouTube where they go into the benefits of all these different fruits, vegetables, and herbs, man. If you're wise, you're not going to avoid them. That's what it's saying right here. All right? I'm going to leave it at that, man. You don't need Esau. Because those who trust in your enemy, hey, man, you're going to get what you're going to get, man. I got a couple of more precepts. We're going to close it out. Here it is, one of my favorites, man. Jeremiah 17 and verse 5. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, cursed be the man that trusted in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai." A lot of you Israelites didn't trust in the Lord, man, around 2020. When that illness came out, man, it had everybody fucking shook. The majority of our people ran out and trusted man. The wrong man to trust, man, at that. Your damn enemy, Esau. And now you worry. Now a lot of y'all ain't even here. A lot of your family members ain't even here because they trusted in man. All right, the wicked man at that. All right, because you've departed from the Lord. You're not having faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I can say this right here, that the men of Great Millstone, all right, we didn't run out there and trust our enemy when that big ass scare came about in 2020. They threatened to take our jobs from us if we didn't get down with the program. Well, guess what? We still here. All right? We can say that we're still here because we trusted in Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai. We didn't put our trust in man. You understand? All right? Verse 6, it says, "For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabit it." Meaning you're going to be left high and dry when you trust in man, when you put your faith in mankind, especially Esau, the devil. You're going to be left high and dry, man, like a plant in the desert with no water. Verse 7, we're going to close with this. Now it says, "Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, and whose hope the Lord is." That's the mindset and mentality that the elect would have. They're going to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, he's the one that controls everything, man. If you've been serving him in truth and in sincerity, and guess what? You ain't got to worry, man. You see, Esau, he uses scare tactics, man, to try to get you to do what he wants you to do, man. And a lot of y'all fell for that shit the first time. But you got to understand that he's going to come back with even more fear tactics in these last days. Talking about it feels like razors in your throat, man. Pumping that fear. And it could be, he could release something even more severe than that to scare you into submission. But the elect are going to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Okay? So just understand what's, going on right now, man. The days are evil, and we're seeing these things, manifest more and more. All right? Because we're in the beginning of sorrows. So this is a, prophetic news update. They're talking about new illnesses coming out, man. And just prepare yourself spiritually, man. And once more, this is not medical advice. All right? So I'm in this right here. Just wanted to share that with y'all. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha Quadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who do well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Stay alert, stay vigilant, man, and trust in the Lord. And Kwam Yasharala in the Bible Ball. Shalom.